Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smart, and I'm giving you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Unless we get some extremely groundbreaking news, don't expect me back till Wednesday. So I got to give you guys a little bit of a video just to hold you over. You're not gonna. I'll be posting on the community post, but as far as dropping videos are concerned, probably not gonna see me back till Wednesday. Got a lot of stuff that I have to do coming up ahead on my vacation next month, so it is what it is. So let's talk about this real quick. You know, I completely forgot. Never mind Collision being on last night. That in itself is already bad enough, right? You know, I completely forgot next Sunday is Revolution. It just dawned on me. Like, I go on Twitter and I'm seeing people saying Elimination Chamber over Revolution. And I don't know, because the way they kind of painted it out, it's like, wait, did Revolution happen already? Holy shit, did it lack that much aura that I didn't even know that it happened already? I look up the date, and no, it's next week Sunday. So I guess I'm reviewing that show. I feel like I said that I was going to review it next Sunday, but I completely forgot that it was even occurring. I guess that's going to be on the ticket, but god damn, this might be the lowest point in AEW history. Like, as far as fan interaction is considered and all that stuff, it even goes outside of the bounds of that. You know what I mean? Like, I look at the current product of AEW, and it's not even so much that the product in itself is fucking horrendous. Like, that is already bad enough. But now you have WWE, and who knows? Maybe WWE might screw it up. You never know, right? We have to see as time goes on. But as we speak currently right now, John Cena's heel turn is not only trending, but it's like #1 trending right now. Mind you, we're talking about, you know, the stuff that's happening in Ukraine right now, currently at the moment. We're talking about the stuff that's happening in Gaza right now. John Cena currently right now, as we speak, as of this video, right? He's trending worldwide. #1, John Cena turns. John Cena screws Cody Rhodes. John Cena turns heel. That's the #1 thing currently trending right now in the entire world. At this point, bro, just, God, I hate using this phrase because it's such a Gen Z cringe term. But yeah, put the fries in the bag, bro. Put the fries in the bag. Like, it's over. It's over for this company. How do you logically combat all this? Because you would have to have it's not even just like the framing in itself, right? You literally need the mentality of a promoter who at least been around the business for over 20 years to even come up with a plan. Like, it's not to say that it's not feasible. Always remember how low of a point WWE was at in late 97 when going up against WCW. That Sting storyline with the NWO was fucking wild in elementary school. Let me tell you, all we talked about in elementary school was Sting and Hogan. Sting and Hogan, Sting and Hogan, Sting and Hogan. And then you throw in the middle of all that DDP, you know, you throw in the middle of all that Randy Savage. Then you throw in the middle of all that all the kids trying to copy off of the cruiserweight moves. And then Goldberg comes in a little bit later on. Like, it was crazy. And when you think about the fact that once you get to December, going into their biggest buy-rated pay-per-view of all time in Starrcade, when you think about the fact that WCW was at their fucking peak in December of 97. Mind you, after the Montreal Screwjob, so we all knew Brett was coming to WCW, so that was also anticipated. And then you think about WWE, literally, all they had was Michaels and Taker. Austin wasn't at that point yet. He was about to get to that point, but Austin quite wasn't at that point yet. Austin was not established. Now, you can make an argument that he was one of the stars on the rise, and if you want to throw him in there, that's fine. But as far as the prominent, established talent, it was just Shawn and Taker. That's all they had was Shawn and Taker. Nobody else. And look what happened 4 months later, once you go into April of 1998. Now WWE is the hottest thing in the fucking world, and they haven't lost any momentum from that point ever since. They became a complete household. I mean, they were already a household name, but now they are like a step below Disney once you get around that point to where they are at right now. They are still riding the wave of 1988 to this very day. That's how fucking insane that year was. Tony Khan doesn't have it in him to combat like that. Not only does he not have it in him to combat like that, he doesn't have the mentality to combat like that. He doesn't know what needs to be sacrificed, what needs to be put up for it. None of his stars even have any character depth that's so unique to the degree where you can say, okay, we have this to go up against WWE. Like, you look at, again, WCW, and you had the NWO and all the stuff with Sting. Like, you had the NWO, the gang gimmick that they were doing, Sting. Yeah, the Crow, / Batman stuff that he was doing. And then you have WWE. They're not throwing wrestlers. They're not throwing 5-star matches at them. The WCW didn't even value their 5-star matches. I mean, they put the cruiserweights on the bottom of the fucking card. The thing that AEW is plastering as what they feel is the biggest draw for their company, WCW used that as like fodder. We need this to kind of be like a pick-me-up match to get us to the main eventers. You know what WWE threw at Sting, at the NWO? They threw Austin. They threw Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker and D-Generation X. That's what they threw at that. Hate it or love it, it was different. The mentality wasn't throwing more wrestling at whatever the hell WCW is doing at them. The answer is, we need to combat pop culture with pop culture. And AEW, Tony Khan, they don't have that mentality. They don't have the mentality. They don't have the balls to take the sacrifices that WWE did in order to go up against WCW. They don't have the balls to do what it takes in order to combat what John Cena just did. John Cena just did what WCW did with Hogan and the NWO, just a step below, obviously. That's what they did. That's what you have to combat with. AEW has to combat with one of the biggest events in the history of professional wrestling that just went down last night. AEW has to combat, arguably, most likely, not even arguably, for sure, the biggest single entity in regards to the activities that went on. You have to go against the single biggest turn, the single biggest moment easily in the last 25 years almost. Since Austin shook Vince's hand, between that time frame to this, nothing as big has happened as John Cena turning heel and joining forces with The Rock. They took a 3-year angle damn near, or a 2-year angle, maybe 3 if you consider 2010. They took a 3-year angle, and mind you, 2 main events of WrestleMania, and they joined these guys' forces to take on the biggest star in the company, the biggest star of this generation. We're not talking about Punk and all this stuff. Cody is this generation. Cody is Generation Z. He's a millennial in himself, but he represents Generation Z. That is the single biggest star of this generation. Him or Roman Reigns, take your pick. Like, you need to put your foot on the pedal, AEW. You need to do something drastic. Like, drastic. But the thing is, though, and this is the problem that you run into when you end up being such a mark company, what realistically can AEW bring to the table to combat a John Cena heel turn? Right? That's the problem that they run into that I don't know the answer to. You look at their entire roster and you ask yourself, what can they realistically put up? They don't have anybody. I'll put it to you like this. You look at their entire card. You look at their entire roster. Honestly, at this point in time, minus Edge, because not even Jon Moxley fits that mold. Take Edge out of the equation, honestly, that entire roster can go after the Intercontinental Championship in WWE and not look out of place. I can't feasibly. There might be 3 or 4 talents, like a Moxley always fits that build. Maybe a Kenny Omega to a lesser degree. Jericho is always going to be a legend, obviously, so that's, him. Maybe even Christian to a lesser degree, but even that is very, you're stretching it with Christian. Not even MJF. I can't feasibly see anybody being a world champion outside of Edge, let alone going for the world championship with their current momentum and their current status in that company right now. So it's like, who do you even have feasibly in a position that can even take that on? You don't. With this heel turn, business is going to skyrocket. I can only imagine. I think they're going to hit 2 million views for Raw. I think they're going to hit 2 million views, maybe even higher for Raw. They're probably going to do the same thing for SmackDown. And it's only going to get better from here. It's only going to get better from here. This is your program going into WrestleMania. A Rock and John Cena alliance with a heel-turned John Cena taking on Cody Rhodes. Mind you, we haven't even talked about the undercard stuff yet. We still don't know what Roman Reigns and CM Punk are going to do. Hell, I would argue the implications in regards to their women matter more than what AEW is doing with their world title scene. I would make a easy, strong argument that Rhea Ripley, and I would think Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania, it completely and utterly obliterates anything that's happening in AEW. And that's just a women's match. That would arguably be maybe their 5th biggest storyline going into WrestleMania. Maybe 4th. But top 5 at the lower end going into WrestleMania. And that in itself is a women's match that will obliterate the entire AEW roster right now as far as what they bring to the table. But they made their bed and now they gotta lie in it. They made their bed and now they gotta lie on it. They're in trouble. Now, we say this all the time, but no, they are seriously in trouble. Who in the fuck outside of the AEW, and not even just the AEW fan base, I even think the majority of them will probably tune in to see what's going to happen with Rock and Cody. You have to be a hardcore AEW diehard tribalist to tune into Revolution, and it's not that many of them. And they're all online, and they're very vocal. You can count how many diehard AEW tribalist fans they are, easily. Those are the only people who are going to tune in to your upcoming PLEs or pay-per-views. Versus what WWE is doing right now, which is, say whatever you are, Devontae, you're glazing. It's not glazing when it's the truth. It's not glazing when it's the truth, boys. They're in trouble. They're in trouble, and I just hope, for their sake, whatever they have in mind, whatever they plan on doing, it's worth it. It's worth it, because I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. I really don't. But I guess I'll let you guys talk about it amongst each other in the comment section below. Maybe I'm skipping over a few people. Maybe my mind isn't clear because we're still coming off of the heels of John Cena, his heel turn, and what happened with Cody. I'm coming off the heels of that. We haven't even talked about Jade Cargill. That's another storyline that probably completely clears everything AEW is doing at the moment. Bro, they did it to themselves. They actually did it to themselves. All the momentum in the world, completely like that, dissipated in a moment's notice after the Elimination Chamber last night. But let me know. Maybe you got some thoughts in your mind as to what they can do going forward. Personally, I don't have a fucking clue. But hey, go ahead and try your best. Don't forget, I'll be back most likely Wednesday. Unless something groundbreaking happens and I gotta take time to talk about it for a couple of minutes, I'll be back Wednesday, so don't expect me. If you don't see any videos tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm telling you this now. But I will be probably posting in the community post. But with that being said, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smart. And have a wonderful day. Catching you guys later. Deuces. P. Ice.